Hi, I'm Trenton Hoggard, and this is Tim Ray. We're talking a little bit about what kind of value a real estate agent might bring to you as you are buying a home. Tim?
Well, you know, my part of it is you said real estate agent. There's a lot of real estate agents out there. Everyone knows someone that sells real estate, but what I'm talking about is someone that does this for a living that is a professional real estate agent. What value do they bring to the table when you're making a purchase?
Yep. Thought of a video I saw Dave Ramsey on the other day. He was talking about real estate's just like anyone else. 80% of the people make about 20% of the money, and about 20% of the people are the ones who are selling about 80% of the business. And so very important to find a professional realtor as you're starting this process. But the biggest question I get when people are first starting to search for homes and looking to buy and asking to have me help them, guide them through the process is, all right, what's this gonna cost me? And the truth is, as a buyer, it normally isn't going to cost you much at all. The commission and how that works seems to be a big mystery for folks. And Tim, can you help?
Well, you know, my biggest thing is a lot of them ask the question, what is it going to cost me? I look at things from the other perspective without using a professional realtor. What can it cost me? The problem is by not knowing all the things that take place when you're making a purchase and all the legalities sometimes that go along with that part of it as well. Are you doing it correct? Are you leaving money on the table?
Yep.
Are you paying too much for a home
Yep.
as well? And the other part of it, as well as what things can possibly go wrong because I didn't have a professional that does this every day.
That's right. What most people don't realize is that typically the seller is actually the one paying the commissions for a realtor. And so as a buyer, most of the time you have virtually nothing to lose using a professional and getting someone to help advise you through that, because we're thinking about things that you probably even haven't thought of to think of. And so we're looking 5 years down the road. Is this a good investment? Because our hope isn't just to sell you this house now, but it's to help represent you when you get ready to sell it in the future. And so if we haven't helped you make a good decision now, you're not going to be too happy with us 4, 5, 10, 20 years down the road either. And so those are all things value-wise that we're trying to consider.
And even value to the seller from the selling standpoint is there something that I left undone in selling this property that can come back and bite me, later as well? Because when you're dealing with people's money, let me tell you, they'll come back after you if things were done wrong or they thought something was misrepresented.
Yeah, that's right.
One of the reasons we talked about earlier, why do you hire a professional real estate agent, is I think probably the big part is you need to have a survey done. I bet 90% of all purchases, people don't get a survey. They don't think about it. Just because you're buying a home and it has a fence doesn't mean that fence was built necessarily on the right property line. And that always creates arguments. So why not have those things done ahead of time? Another thing is to making sure that the appraisal process is done correctly. Appraisal is always, am I paying too much for this home? Am I getting it at a good buy? And that's something that you need to know prior to writing that contract and make sure that you protected your clients if they've gave something realistic for a purchase for an appraisal.
And those are pieces that the bank loves to see, gives you peace of mind knowing that you're buying exactly what you think you're buying. But then what you want to know is what you're buying in the condition that you think it might be? And so a lot of people kind of do a quick run through, walk through, everything looks fine, but is there a professional that's going in, crawling in the attic, walking up on the roof, crawling underneath the house if that's required? Is your home inspector someone that you can trust? And so there's just a whole team involved that as realtors, it's not just us that help you get this deal and make you feel comfortable with it. We have connections and we have a whole team that we work with to make sure that at the end of the day, you're happy and you will be for a long time. The other aspect that we think about is just all the legality part of buying a home. There are so many things that go on behind the scenes, like, is the person selling the home, do they even legally have the right to sell the home? It's very important, probably the most important thing, that when you get the keys to that house, that it's legally yours. And so there's a lot of people that are involved in making that happen. Absolutely.
I was listening to a podcast the other day. I don't remember the lady's name, but she was from South Carolina. She was a realtor there, and she said, with all the technology that's out there now, websites that spend millions of dollars promoting themselves, such as Zillow and Realtor.com, that pretty much a person can find the home that they're looking for. They can find the style, the place, what they're looking for. She says, my job anymore that I explain to my clients is is it's not so much my job anymore to find you that house, but it's to help you get through the 70 hands that it goes through that transaction to make sure you get the house of your dreams and you actually get it closed. So, that's a very, very important thing. And there are people that play that role. And our part of it is just to check that list off and make sure it gets done.
Make sure everything gets done. Yeah, absolutely. One of the maybe underestimated benefits of using a realtor is just we are in this business day in and day out. And so we hear of stuff that's popping up before it even happens. And one of the things that gets talked about is this is such a seller's market right now. It's a great time to be selling a home. And so as a buyer, you really need every advantage that you can get.
I agree. If a house is priced right, it's in the right location, and we just happen to be in the right place, and a lot of times we hear about things before they hit the market. It's a great time when you're working with someone to call them and say, hey, I think I've got the right home for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether you're buying a home, the big thing is just make sure that you're protected. Use a professional real estate agent.
Yeah, move forward with confidence so that we can help you make the right decision. Call Tim Ray or Trenton Hoggard today.